I think that if you're not trying to constantly push yourself or constantly trying to make changes and improve what you're doing, that you're just going to be stagnant and nothing is going to grow.
You definitely need that, especially nowadays. I think if you're not constantly evolving, constantly changing, you're gonna fall behind. And that's just how it is.
All right, what's going on, everybody? My name is Logan, host of the Motion Method, Keeping Things in Motion podcast, how we relate to local businesses, creatives, and entrepreneurs. Today, we got the Rig Designer boys in the building.
Yes.
What's up, guys?
How's it going? Happy to be here.
Pretty good. And I know. I'm glad you guys are here. It's been a long time coming.
Yeah. So,
Can you tell we have
we're gonna
notes?
keep everything rolling because this is how it's going.
We didn't plan it out.
My name,
Say their name.
I just was literally about my name is Lynn Glover. As you know, this is Reese Jones.
Can I
Also-
introduce myself?
I was going to give you a chance to introduce yourself. Let me host and flow first, and then maybe that's why you got the Bobo mic, the Bobo chair, live view on the podcast.
Mm.
What Reese's Bobo setup is. Actually, let's talk about our guest first. All right, we got Mr.
Cameron Downey.
Mr. Cameron Downey and Mr.
Anthony Frado.
Mr. Anthony Frado.
So yeah, you let them and say their names.
And then who is this?
And I'm Reese Jones.
All right. This is a podcast about entrepreneurship, about being creative, about small businesses, pretty much anything that we want just to grow as creatives, basically.
I would say, yeah.
So today, for the first episode, we brought on the Rig Designer boys. How do we meet you guys?
Well, we met in high school, so I mean, we have a good bit of history. I mean,
Mm.
we met before that, and obviously, we met you guys later.
Yeah.
But we were never super close in high school. But obviously, we went on that
We were aware.
trip together, and
Yeah.
That's true. That is true.
talk about that a little bit.
I've known Logan for a long time.
Oh yeah, that's right.
We met in sixth grade.
Yeah, I think so. 6th grade.
Minecraft. We made a Minecraft map together.
Yeah,
That's how we began our friendship.
it was pretty peak,
A
bro.
lunch table. These hobbies together. But
Yeah.
now we're what, 5-6 years after high school.
Yeah,
Yeah.
10 years after that, I guess.
So
That's
Like,
crazy.
Longer. Mhm.
it's crazy that we've reconnected and now we have this like ambassador thing going on with you guys. It's rude.
Yeah.
Definitely a full
It's-
circle. Definitely.
Yeah, it's pretty funny how those things work. Like, I don't know, like you were in band, so like I don't know, I never really thought that you were like interested in that sort of thing. And then obviously like you were making a game, and that was cool. That was cool. That was super cool. But I was like, I mean, I knew you were super smart, but I never thought you would like, I don't know, like make like this cool idea, this cool website, especially like in our field of things, for like videography, photography, stuff like that. And I don't know, you never know how those things work, and I think that's super sick.
Yeah, thank you. Should we like describe what it is, what we do, I guess, a little, or
I think that would be good. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're essentially a website. We're a camera rig builder. You go on the platform, you select your camera parts, you upload it, other people can see your rigs, you can see other people's rigs. It's just a really good way to, kind of see what gear people are using. And we also kind of want it to be like a social type of thing where people can meet each other. So it definitely kind of ties in with what y'all are doing, because you want people, creatives to be able to meet each other and stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure.
No, I think it was kind of crazy because I hadn't really talked to you guys in a couple years, and then I saw you guys launched Rig Designer, and then, I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. I'm gonna shoot you guys a message, see what's up. I mean, might as well. It's pretty cool. You guys are pretty much in the same space that we've been in for the past couple years. We're always about supporting people and making things go. So that way, it was just pretty cool to send you that message. I feel like we've been pretty frequently talking to each other and just figuring.
Sure.
Had a few collab posts.
Mhm.
So like that April Fool's one we did.
Oh
That
yeah.
was pretty fun.
That was nice. You guys put a lot into that. We got a lot of interaction from that. And just in general, honestly, it's been fun working with you guys because you guys are like the hometown or home team,
Yeah.
from Pensacola. I'm in Orlando now. He's still here in Pensacola with you guys. But it's cool, like we could be so far apart. But I mean, that's one thing about Rig Designer that we like is we value the community and we want to build up
Mhm.
the community and just have like-minded individuals like us be able to congregate and get together. And
Yeah.
it's way more motivating to work on something when it's just bigger than you.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
I'm very blessed. I have Cameron, and our other co-founder, Michael Gilbert. Shout out Michael. Sad you can't be here, Michael.
Well,
We're a 3-man team, and that it would not be possible. Number one, without Cameron.
Yeah.
Because Cameron's the head developer of Rig Designer. Basically, Michael and I are like the camera guys. We kind of fell in love with cameras and just film in general. As you said, I was a band. So for me personally, that's how the love for cameras kind of spawned. I wanted to be able to nurture my own musical journey and document it, and I don't even know where that's going to head. And but that's the beautiful thing about cameras. Like, you can immortalize a moment, you can make anything with it. But yeah, it started off as my love, or like involving my love for music. And Michael and I kind of just had this idea, like, there's no central place to create your camera from start to finish. It's like PC part picker as well. A lot of the time we'll bring that up because that's big inspiration. It's a similar concept.
Yeah.
We've taken some inspiration from them for sure.
Yeah. I mean, obviously we talked about it off podcast, but it kind of is wild that it was never brought up before. Like, I just feel like it's such like a no-brainer, and I say it all the time, like I said, off podcast, but it's just like, I feel like it'll start catching on, and then it'll just be something that everyone uses. Like, it's just going to be a go-to. I mean, it'll be like, hey, you want to look at my camera? I left my link below on rigdesigner.com. Easy.
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of crazy. I mean, I kind of had a similar idea for something like this for like backpacking gear. Because people have very intricate like backpacking gear setups
For like hiking and stuff.
Yeah. So like, they have a tent and all this other crap that they use. But funny enough, I never really did anything with that. But then I think you and Michael, didn't you both have this idea at like a similar time independently?
Yeah, it was really odd. It was like, maybe it has something to do with like the social media algorithm, or like
Great minds think alike.
Michael and I, we were just, I don't know. It could also be like the point we were at in our journey, like Michael and I are amazing friends,
Yeah.
People say don't make businesses with friends. I disagree, to be honest. I mean, it just depends. Everybody has, we have individual relationships. Like, it just depends. But it wouldn't be possible without Cameron, Michael, and I. And I believe that if we didn't have one of the three of us, it wouldn't be where it is. But no, yeah, really don't even know how it came to be exactly. It was just like one of those nights we were talking, and you have one creative idea, and then it just snowballs. And that's why the creative collaboration is so important. And it's really refreshing. You have one creative idea that turns into another, and then boom. Like, we would have never thought we have what we had right now.
Yeah, no, it's been crazy. And I think Michael said he had this idea in a dream or something. But yeah, so then they came to me with that idea, and I was just like, oh yeah, this is exactly the kind of thing I want to do. And I'm not even, particularly into cameras, so I'm, completely relying on them for like all the information I get.
Yeah.
So yeah, it definitely wouldn't be possible without them either.
Yeah.
But
What sort of investment did it take? That could be time, money, just effort, ideas, to get from that idea to where you guys are today.
I mean, in terms of time, I mean, we still have like day jobs. Like, this is, we're not really making money off of this yet. So this is, completely in our free time. For me, maybe like in the past year, I would say I average maybe like 5 hours a day on it or something. So you could say like 1,500 hours or something.
It's pretty crazy.
But that's just coding itself. But there's just so many aspects of the business. We're just now like really trying to get into marketing more, and that takes a lot of time on its own. You can't just build the thing; you have to market it as well. And that's maybe marketing is like more than half of it, honestly.
Yeah,
It can be.
But
at least at this point, because the outreach is like a whole different, there's three of us. So we've been trying to learn how to navigate and figure out, okay, what are our strengths? What do we like to do? what doesn't make, what makes this enjoyable for us,
Mhm.
Cameron, and a lot of the time I feel bad because we have these creative conversations which are really productive, and we're, it's just we're happy to have them,
Yeah.
but that results in a ton of work for Cameron.
Yeah.
Because like we start flowing and we're like, bro, we need this. Oh my God, what if users can do this? What if we incorporated this? And then by the end of a 30-minute conversation, well, Cameron has another 30, 40, 50 potential hours, you know?
Yeah.
So we try to keep that in mind, and we're learning how to pace ourselves. We just got a Trello board. Shout out Trello. If you guys don't use it, it's really good. I don't know if I should have done that or not, but it's all good. But just trying to find ways to be productive and
Yeah.
maximize our productivity, and but at the end of the day, just have fun with it. Because
Oh, yeah.
like he said, we don't really make anything. We haven't like everything we've made, which has been very little, has gone straight back into like the outreach, because we're trying to experiment with different things like ad campaigns and stuff of that nature. But we really just want to get the word out to more creatives. So.
Mhm.
Yeah, for sure. I was gonna say, touching on the marketing aspect of things, it really can be difficult. And I mean, like, how many like bad products are out there that blow up and are popular because of the marketing? I just feel like it is definitely a difficult thing. But I mean, I feel like you guys have been doing pretty good. I know you've been making some connections recently with some other people. Actually, speaking of that, who have you guys collabed with recently?
So we have 4 ambassadors currently.
Okay.
You guys are our first ambassador.
Uh,
Or Jared Parker.
What? No, maybe it's Jared.
Sorry. Okay, you guys are our second ambassadors.
yeah.
So we have a director out of London. He's amazing. His name is Jared Parker. We love him because before I think we had like, I don't know, we had like 30 Instagram followers or something. Like we were
We were
just,
very low for a while.
Yeah.
Now we're like starting to pick up.
yeah,
Dude.
yeah, we were like non-existent basically. Like the website, Cameron, in terms of Rig Designer and just what it is as a whole, the website is like here, like
Yeah.
in comparison to the outreach and everything. Like
Yeah.
it's just, we're trying to learn, but Cameron's been one step ahead, and the website itself was enough for Jared Parker to be interested in Rig Designer. So he didn't care that we had no following. He didn't care. He just liked the idea itself. So we got on a call with him, and now he's an ambassador. We've done a few things with him. And then you guys following Jared Parker.
Sir.
Like I said, we're all Pensacola boys, so the home team here. It was a
Right.
no-brainer. You guys are actively doing the thing, and creatives, and the professional side to it as well. So then we have
Orlando.
Orlando Bryans.
Is that how you pronounce his last name? I honestly don't know.
I
Bad.
I believe it's Bryans. Yeah. But yeah, he's been great for us. He's pretty big on Instagram. So in terms of just learning from him what to do, what to not do, he's kind of been like a mentor in that sense, because
Cool.
he's got a little bit more of a following. And we're trying to grow as well. So when we go, whether it's like boosting a post or making a certain type of, I don't know, just like experimenting with different things, I like to go to him to kind of console, like, okay, what are your thoughts on this? Have you done this before?
Yeah.
So that's been really good. And then lastly, we have Jerry Charvat. We got him on a few days ago. Jerry's amazing. We were in band together. We were in Drumline. Cameron played the marimba. He's a very talented musician. I grew up playing drum set in a high school setting. I played drum set for like jazz band, and then like snare drum in the Drumline. Jerry Charvat was actually an instructor for us in our indoor drumline. And indoor drumline is a very expressive thing. If you don't know what it is, it's kind of like a theatrical performance with drums involved. It's kind of hard to explain, but
Okay.
Sounds cool.
yeah, it's pretty cool. It was a good experience. We put a lot of effort in, but Jerry was one of our instructors, and we always loved his open mind, and like we do stretches and he just put on some chill music, or like he would find ways to make it an enjoyable thing outside of us trying to just compete with other people.
Yeah.
And he's also into film. So yeah, as of a few days ago, we picked him up, and now he's on the ambassador team as well.
And you guys have only really been pushing all this since what, the end of December, the end of last year?
Yeah.
That's when you had your launch.
Around then, yeah.
Thanks. Only half a year. This is pretty good.
Not even
Pretty
a
good
year.
progress, man.
Thank
For
you.
sure.
I mean, yeah, we still definitely, we have so much.
Infinite list.
Yeah. Infinite list of items at least I need to do, at least just for the website alone. And then there's just so much, opportunity that, we could take advantage of. So
I think it's cool that a lot of those people too aren't like or sorry, are doing it out of just passion.
Oh, yeah.
Like just passion for the idea. Like you're not obviously you're still starting up. There isn't too much that you can do right now. And it's really cool having other people just being like, dude, this is a sick idea. I mean, it was obviously the same for us. We think it's a sick idea, but it's cool to see that other creatives have that kind of same mindset. And I'm sure you're only gonna get more.
Just for the love of the game. Like
Yeah, man.
not because we don't really have much in terms of incentives,
Yeah.
It's like that's something we want to be able to do more in the future, but it is cool. People just they see the idea and they like the idea of bringing everybody together. So
Mhm.
that's been our whole thing.
Yeah. Do you have a 5-year written out plan on what you're gonna do with Rig Designer?
To
That's
be
a
honest,
good question, yeah.
no, we don't.
We really don't, but yeah, I mean, yeah, there's so many things we have planned, at least like not scheduled out exactly, because in software development, it's just so hard to plan exactly when things will be possible to be completed.
Yeah.
A big one that we really want on the site is part compatibility, so you can kind of just add whatever camera parts you want, and then
Yeah.
you'll just be guaranteed, well, not guaranteed, but pretty much relatively certain that it's going to be compatible. That would be a massive tool,
Oh.
like something to help people get into just building cameras who have absolutely no idea what they're doing.
Yeah.
And
So are you saying like if someone put like two things together that wouldn't work, it would give you like
Yeah, it
some
would tell
sort
them,
of
yeah.
like that's actually that is actually super
I don't
cool.
know how you guys would even like go about that.
We're trying. That's our current thing we're trying to
Yeah.
implement now.
Yeah, that's so many. I feel like with computers at least, they kind of have like this one will fit this one, this
Yeah.
wattages or whatever. But something like
Ugh.
camera parts, there's so many little tiny parts
Yeah.
that like you don't think that could work together, but they could. You can jerry rig it. You can just do whatever you want. But
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
we might have to keep it, relatively basic and just say, okay, this body will probably be compatible with this lens. This lens will probably be compatible with this filter.
Based
And
on
then have some notes saying,
Yeah.
like, hey, you can't fit 20 things on this one cage, and
Yeah.
you have to use some level of the user has to have some level of awareness. But
Yeah.
in terms of the basic things, we definitely want to do that, to the level that we can do it. But yeah, I mean that could take, I don't know, that could take months for
Yeah.
us to, make some major progress on that.
Yes, definitely a long-term project, especially if it's just you and you have to go through every single part to do that. That's
So yeah, basically like we try to distribute it as easily as we
add it to the list.
in a way that makes sense, and package it for Cameron to make it easier for him because he's
Yeah.
our head developer, our only developer. Okay?
Yeah.
So Michael and I, when we have these ideas, when we're trying to work on something like compatibility, we try to package it for him as much as we can to streamline the process for him.
Yeah.
Like getting all the products on the site was a big one. We had a Google
Mhm.
sheet.
Yeah.
There's 179,000 products on the site.
Yeah.
right now.
yeah,
So we have a Google sheet of like 600 different categories. So like we created categories and then we created subcategories. And
Yeah.
to this day, we're trying to tweak all the subcategories. We're like, okay, well, this thing exists in this category. Would it make more sense if it exists here elsewhere?
Mhm.
Or would it make the most sense to have this particular thing in multiple categories?
yeah.
So I
So-
see.
So that's been a journey as well. That took forever. Michael and I worked on the Google Sheets for like 6 months,
Yeah.
something like
Mm.
that. Yeah, just going in every day. All right, here we go. We're locked in. Let's just
Yeah.
let's do as much as we can.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of that, you said Cameron's, of course, is your lead developer. How do you guys split the tasks between the three of you as a group?
So as I said before, we just got a task board.
Cameron does.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we got a task board, which has honestly been really helpful in the last few
Yeah.
days. Because I have a problem where I have a lot of ideas, but I'm not very good at compartmentalizing these ideas because I'll get onto one thing and I'll get super excited and then I just stray away from my intention or like my original goal. So having a task board is really helpful because there's daily recurring tasks that are assigned to Michael and I. And then Cameron has his own task as well.
A
For
little task list, yeah.
yeah, so
Keep things separate.
yeah, so imagine like Michael, our co-founder, who's not here. Michael has his daily task. I have my daily task. Cameron has his daily task. So for Michael and I, it's like a lot of outreach stuff. Like,
Mhm.
say we try to distribute the social media platforms. So I'll do Reddit and we'll both do YouTube. And
Yeah.
he'll do Twitter and he'll do TikTok and I'll do Instagram. And you know what I'm saying?
I
So like,
see. Yeah.
that really honestly has helped. And we have seen a direct increase in outreach when the two, it's so crazy how it works. It's like you water it and there's instant, you
Yeah.
know, there's instant results. Like if Michael and I, for example, we both have a day off where we
Yeah.
dedicate the entire day to Rig Designer, well, then we will have an influx of users on the site like that very day.
That's
Um,
always very nice seeing your hard work resulting in something
yeah,
right away, man. That's sick.
yeah. Even if it's just one user, even if
Yeah.
it's just one new person on the site, because that's honestly, my whole day is made. I'm sure Cameron says,
Oh, yeah.
say the same. Michael will say the same. My whole day is made when there's just a new person signing up.
Or a new rig
Yeah.
pops up or something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah. Do
Yeah.
you guys have like notifications whenever like someone posts a rig or not?
We actually don't, but
Not yet.
we kind of just all have it, ingrained in our head to just always have it on our phone,
Yeah.
constantly refreshing the user list and the rig list.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely super. I mean, it feels like at this point every user and rig we get on the site is kind of like a battle for it, and then we're hoping at some point it just like just happens naturally and self-sustaining.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like your guys' just teamwork and ability to just distribute tasks. I feel like our team, we get stuff done, but maybe not as efficiently.
We could be more effective.
Yeah, maybe some people cannot sleep in so much, or
I don't know why you're looking at me.
but it is really inspiring to just see you guys. You wake up, you figure out what you guys need to do for the day, and you hit it hard. Just the one new rig on the side, and one new user, it just means the world to you.
Yes.
And one day it's gonna be hundreds of rigs a day.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We hope so. And then we'll be able to put more time because we are such a small team. When the outreach is like down to a science and we're trying to get there. But when we have to like, you guys know how the algorithms work. Like you get that posting schedule down and at a certain point it's like an irreversible snowball effect,
Yeah.
The algorithms on these platforms, they reward consistency. So that's something we're trying to hold ourselves accountable to is like, okay, like I want to look back at the end of 2025 because think about it. December 2023 was when we created the idea.
Yeah.
And then we launched December of
2024, so it was about a year of development.
yeah. So a year of just being completely like, we didn't want to tell everybody because we just wanted to keep our focus on it really.
Yeah.
And then we were fiending to launch the site and
Wow.
now it's crazy to see where it's at now.
It's already changed like a lot.
Yeah, Cameron has redone the homepage multiple times. He's redone every single page. Like,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
insane.
I was actually going to ask earlier, but I was kind of curious about that. Like on average, obviously you do a lot of work on the website. How much would you say you like code and then have to like throw out or redo?
That is a
On
great
average.
question. A ridiculous amount. Like people, I don't know, maybe if I was a better planner, but so much of it is like just adjusting to, how you notice people interact with the site. Or, I had the homepage a certain way for a while and it's based off of something we all liked. And then we realized, oh, wait, we need to change this. We need something that, actually explains, what Rig Designer is more. The old, homepage was like more decorative, but the new one is a lot more like informative. But there's just so many changes like that. In really, it's like the analogy of the boat that you replace all the parts on it over and over, and at the end it's still the same boat. It's kind of what it is in programming. Really, everything has changed multiple times, and so much time goes into improving things currently on the site rather than actually adding new features, which can be frustrating, but it's kind of just a necessary part of the process.
Yeah, it's good that you're willing to do that too, because I feel like even I'm guilty of it. Sometimes I'll be making a video and, I'll get like advice from, like Logan or, just someone I'm showing the video and they're like, oh, this is pretty good. However, I changed this and I'm a little stubborn. I'm like, no, man. I'm like, I don't want to.
I-
I don't want to change this. Like, I already spent so much work making. I spent an hour making this 10-second edit, and you're telling me you don't like it.
Well, it's not like I
Uh,
don't do that, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's the same thing for them as well. Everyone, we all give each other feedback, and it's time consuming. We have to adjust what we're doing so much, and we have so much input for each other, and yeah, it can definitely eat up to a lot of time.
I'm
Yeah.
sure.
I get that though. It's like it's a you have to disconnect yourself from it because a lot of
Yeah.
the time, like I made graphics yesterday, or originally, like we have affiliates and then we have ambassadors like you
Yeah.
guys, right?
Yeah.
So affiliates are companies. I made these graphics a while ago and I wasn't happy with them. Cameron and Michael weren't exactly happy with them. And then overall, I was just like, I'm just gonna redo it entirely.
Yeah.
Sometimes something so simple. It was like the highlight bubbles on Instagram.
Yeah.
The graphics for them. Something so simple like that can just
Yeah.
take up consume so much of your mind because you
can.
revisit it over and over again.
Yep.
But then I think about it and I'm like, okay, well, Cameron's completely open to me like being like, oh, well, what if we did this thing? And arguably, on average, that takes more time than what I'm doing.
I mean,
So we just try to be open to each other and not have emotional charge behind like what we're saying, like
Yeah.
just like because overall we all want it to improve for each other,
right.
I know exactly what you mean. With the restaurants, which basically how we get a lot of our income. Just one day, I'll tell Sky, I don't want to do this anymore. And then we just totally redo all the stories for a certain restaurant, or we need to completely change some of our behind the scenes or our looks. I think it really is healthy to just be like that sometimes. Like, I know it's kind of impulsive or kind of, some people would say unnecessary, but I think that if you're not trying to constantly push yourself or
Mhm.
constantly trying to make changes and improve what you're doing, that you're just going to be stagnant and nothing is going to grow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And people will notice whenever you change things up like that. Like, I'm sure even the stories, people probably look at that stuff and be like, oh, it's a completely different style than it was before, or like completely different text. Yeah, exactly. It keeps it fresh. And yeah, you definitely need that, especially nowadays. I think if you're not constantly evolving, constantly changing, you're going to fall behind. And that's
Yeah.
just how it is.
That's the hard thing about social media and like
Mhm.
because you have an idea, right? Rigdesigner.com. We're like, oh cool. All right. We want people to connect. We have the website. The website's amazing, right?
Yeah.
But then we're like, okay, well now we're like full-time content creators as well. You got to learn how to like obsess over the algorithm and
Yeah.
try to get that down. And that's what I was trying to say earlier, like focusing on that. Obviously we're going to be putting more like we will continue to put effort into the outreach side and social media,
Mhm.
but it's going to be nice when someday that's kind of like just working on its own.
And even nowadays, I don't even think that you can just have a business. You have to be entertaining as well. You can't just have a product, have a service. You have to inform people why they need your service. They have to like you because there's 10 other different of your service, your product. They have to have a personal connection with you nowadays. And that's just something you see on so many brands. They're creating content like you've never seen it before. And if you don't do it, you're just not going to keep up.
Yeah.
It can be difficult for sure.
It is kind of an interesting like battle between perfectionism and like actually putting stuff out there.
Hmm.
I don't know. It could be argued that maybe we do spend too much time improving things and not, at least in my case, actually releasing new features.
Hmm.
I don't know. I'd be curious for y'all's take on that. Do you think is it really worth it to, refine something over and over rather than maybe just put it out there and, maybe get on to the next thing, and then maybe you can take your learned experiences and at least actually be putting stuff out there more.
I think at a certain point, there's definitely diminishing returns.
Yes. Yeah, it's a balance, I think.
That has definitely been my biggest priority this year. Instead of making sure everything is perfect, I want to get as much as we can out to get our names out there. Like we've made, I think, almost double already like Instagram posts than we did last year. I'm doing my own personal vlogs. I'm trying to do those as well. I'm posting on LinkedIn. We're doing a lot of TikTok posting. having stuff out there is a million times better than not having anything at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody, you can have the best product, the best service, but if people do not know about it, there's no point.
Yeah.
You're wasting time.
Okay.
People, no one is going to notice that last 10, maybe even 20% polish. They're going to see that once in their lives and never look at it again. And you kind of have to think of it that way, not just this is the best thing I've ever created. I need this to look amazing.
Everything can't be the best thing you've ever
Yeah.
created.
Yeah. I also think that like I'll literally see like memes or TikToks about it, but a lot of the time those like small things that you really focus on, you know, you notice it when you're a creative. I notice when a frame looks slightly weird on a video or like a transition isn't the cleanest ever, but in reality, a normal person watching that video or looking at your website or your photo is not going to notice that. And even if they do, they probably don't care that much.
Yeah.
They're not going to write, this looks like shit, bro. And if they do, they have a lot bigger problems.
Yeah.
This pixel's a little discolored, man.
Yeah.
But they're definitely, I don't know, they're in web development, at least there's a lot of stuff like that that people do take for granted, that if you don't do it, you know, people will be bothered. Like so many,
Oh, I'm sure.
I don't know, like micro interactions, like when you hover over a button, it needs to like, you know, slightly change color a little bit. If you don't have that, then people don't know it's clickable. Or there's so many, you know, things like that, and that also eats up a ton of time.
That is. Oh, sorry, I didn't cut you off.
No, that was it.
I was just gonna say that is kind of interesting. That is like, you're right. That is something I would not think about. But now that you mention it, I would be like, yeah, the quality of this website is not as good if this button does not change or does not get slightly bigger
Definitely.
Yeah.
or like something like that.
It's kind of a different conversation for like us, like trying to like create content and, you know, justify how much time we're spending versus like him as a software developer. It's like,
But you probably have similar things as well.
Oh,
that
definitely.
People take for granted, you know,
for
you know,
sure.
your finished product, that
For sure.
it takes you a lot of time, but it's stuff that people take for granted, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfectionism is something I suffer from, and I'm sure all of you guys do as well.
Mm-hmm.
Same with music too, because you know we were going back to band, and we've been doing that our entire lives. And like I said, we were competitors, so
Yeah.
you know we're trying to beat other schools. We're trying to represent our school, so every note matters. And
Yeah.
it's pretty interesting because it's a creative thing that we're doing. We're creating music, but we're trying to emphasize literally every single thing and repeat and repeat and repeat. In Cameron's case, building a website, it's like, okay, how do we maximize every single time? Versus us, it's
Yeah.
like putting out different pieces of art or content, you know,
Yeah.
every single time. So when do we accept like this is the final revision?
Yeah.
I feel like if we're doing, like, if it's more creative, like, let's say I'm making a short film, okay? And I'm dedicating 2 months of my life to, like,
Yeah.
all right, create a shot list, storyboard, all this. I want this to be this immaculate thing. Then I feel like in that instance, I like my perfectionism. I indulge in that because I want this to be the best possible thing that I can create, right?
Yeah.
Versus like a social media post where, you know, both are essential, but it's just different. You have to like
Yeah.
learn, like, and that's something we're trying to get better at, Michael and I, every day too, is just learning how much of our eggs do we put into these different baskets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then one day if I have a feature film or something insane, like at that point, that's like, okay, I'm going to juice every ounce of perfectionism and just throw that all into there. But yeah, trying to weigh it all out is the hardest thing.
And then at a certain point, you don't even learn until you are able to take that step backwards, reflect on what you did, and then next time make changes. Because you might be so deep into the process that things that might be a problem don't seem like a problem to you right now. But you need that reflection to see, oh, wait, for my next film, I'm not going to do that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like life advice, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think just keep moving is the biggest thing.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be afraid to post.
Mhm.
Don't be afraid of the judgment,
Mhm.
the fear. It goes back to what you said. Like, it's like athletes. It's like people on the couch. Like, critiquing D1 athletes, like,
Yeah.
or like people in the NBA, Hall of Famers. I'm like, dude, you're on the couch. Like,
Yeah.
they would make you look like nothing if
Yeah,
they were to
something.
compete against you.
Easy. Yeah.
And there's human error. Let's say they did everything. Let's say on paper they had the perfect schedule, regimen, routine. Like they did everything in their power, and then there's still a human error because we're flawed beings.
Right.
Then you're still gonna get criticized, even if you do
Yeah.
everything. Criticism exists, and it always will. So
Yeah.
just finally letting go of that is really important. I feel like.
I agree. I think that's a big mark between someone who's beginning and someone who is I guess I wouldn't say advanced, but someone who's like into it is letting go of that pride of sitting there and making sure everything's perfect. I think allowing yourself to have a little leeway and accepting that is definitely mark of mastery, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think even 5, 6 years ago when we were doing music videos, we would sit there for 2, 3 months looking at this music video, and now we look at it and they suck. They're all terrible. There's no point of doing any of that. Just do the best you can. Don't spend too much time on it because you need to move on to the next project to keep improving. It's a constant cycle that you just have to keep working on, or you're just gonna get trapped in wanting to be better. But
Yeah,
the only thing that makes you better is doing it.
exactly.
No.
So,
Ran out of topics again.
I was just trying to keep going.
Oh, I didn't have anything. I was just trying to think.
You seem like you're about to color a good idea.
Cameron starts
You're like, oh yeah. No.
Do you guys have any personal ambitions besides rig designer, or is rig designer your thing and that's what you want to go in the future, if that makes sense?
You want me to, yeah, I mean, honestly, rig designer kind of is my life right now. Like, honestly, most of my ambitions are related to it because that's just kind of how I am. I love having one thing to work on and that just being the thing in my life. So I don't know, my ambitions would be to like have like an office, even something like this one day with these two, because or him and Michael, because you know he lives in Orlando, Anthony lives in Orlando, and Michael lives in Shreveport, Louisiana. So it's like, you know, we talk all the time on Discord, but you know we rarely see each other in person. In fact, Anthony just got here last night, so you know we literally just met here.
Yeah.
But yeah, having an office or just something that would keep us all together and, you know, allow us to keep each other accountable in person. That's kind of my dream, honestly.
Yeah.
I kind of was thinking, kind of to branch off that question a little bit. Do you see like rig designer evolving into something more? Because like I feel like with Motion Method, of course, like we love what we do right now, but I feel like between me and Logan, like one of our like big ambitions is like we want to start doing like short films. Like that'd be so cool if like we could evolve into like, yeah, we still do all this, we still do social media and all this, but if we started to evolve and do, you know, like more like short films, more like creative things that we want to do you see rig designer becoming something more than I know that you were talking about like community being a big part, like do you see yourself like hosting events, like cool stuff that you can do, just like I don't know. What do you think about that?
Or even physical products.
Yeah,
We've talked about that before.
there's so many different things. That is such a loaded question because it's like, first of all, to address rig designer itself, you know, we love rig designer. We wouldn't be doing it at this point if we didn't enjoy it. You know, that is keeping us going for sure. But for me personally, I share the same goals as Cameron. I would love to have a physical space too. I feel like if we're all able to work in the same physical space, that would be really nice. But I would like to be able to water my creative side a little more. I want rig designer to get to a point where it's sustainable. And I don't know, that might mean a bigger team someday, because right now it's just 3 of us trying to create this allspark, you know?
Yeah.
I use that word a lot because that's how I feel. Like Cameron is the allspark, first of all. He is the creator. Like we wouldn't, if Cameron got kidnapped and disappeared, like where were the keys? Like what would we do? You know, Cameron has created this entity that is just insane. But no, yeah, I want rig designer to get to a point where it's sustainable, self-sustainable, and hopefully community driven. And let's say all 3 of us were to leave the earth today, then it would be nice to know that rig designers at a point where it just can be a resource for people forever, really.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I want to also make short films. I would love to do that because I do my own personal photography, and photography is fun. I enjoy it. But at the end of the day, you're doing things for other people a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Same like what you guys do as a production company. I would like to build a production company in Orlando as well, or wherever else, wherever I end up going. But that's more on the professional side versus like the creative side is like that's where you're watering that like okay, you're fulfilling that creative side with the short films. And
Yeah.
let's say you make a short film and you love it and it blows up and you get insane feedback, and then all of a sudden you're inspired to put a lot of your effort and energy into that. And then you have a few short films, and then boom, you have a feature film and it's
Yeah.
showcased at a festival or a film festival. We just got back from the Creator Camp Film Festival in Austin,
Yeah.
Texas, a few days ago, like 2 weeks ago now.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
But it's crazy. It feels like it was a lifetime ago because we were around so many like-minded people. Jack Conte, the CEO of Patreon, was there. He's also a musician. It was amazing to see him. Zach Shy, one of my favorite. His name is Shy Guy on Instagram. You guys have probably seen his stuff at some point.
Yeah.
He was there. Yes Theory, Cameron's favorite.
Probably one of my favorite YouTubers, and I think they just create. They do like stories, kind of about. What's really nice about them is they don't really focus on themselves much. They're all about storytelling, and yeah, I just love them. They're definitely one of my favorite
Yeah,
storytellers, honestly.
there was just a hub of just creators. We were absorbed in it, and that kind of reignited my drive to propel my photography and videography stuff and rig designer, so I can then put more effort into like the creative side. Sounds
Yeah.
like over time. Yeah. Because that would be a dream. Like having a feature film at something like that. Imagine you guys create something together, or we can join and we make the short film, or it becomes a feature film and it's shown in front of all these like-minded creators who are all doing the same thing. Like that would
Yeah.
be an insane feeling someday.
It is super cool. I'm jealous you guys went there. That's definitely like a cool thing is seeing people that are like really, really interested. Because I mean, it could be kind of hard, to find
Definitely.
people like that. Of course, like I've made a few connections. Like we brought like Elijah on and stuff like that. But super cool. I'm jealous.
Yeah, and we still really don't know that many people. We're trying to branch out in this local area, but I mean, some people can be hard or they don't want to really. It could be almost, I think I've said this before on my blogs that filmmakers or the creatives, they're either really open and want to express and want to, I don't know, network, and then, or they think you're competition. They don't want anything to do with you. It's only one or the other, and it can be hard. And so we still haven't really made too many local connections, but there's something else we're trying to do this year, grow our network, because it's really not competition. Someone else might be a photographer, but they do, I don't know, they do exclusively portraits while we do a lot of restaurant food, nightclub stuff, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
They're not our competition per se, or they have a job that they can't do, so they give it to us, or vice versa.
Yeah.
I think the mindset of not wanting to network and not thinking of everybody as competition rather than someone who can help you and lift you up. Just a rising tide lifts all boats. And I
Definitely.
think that is something that we're really emphasizing this year.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it could be there's a weird balance of like transactional versus actually getting to know somebody and creating an organic relationship. And what we found in Austin is like creating like focusing on the organic relationship and actually learning about who they are and what they like to do. At the end of the day, you're going to learn like what they do,
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be the focal point of the conversation. Like, hello, we are a rig designer, like we don't, that was kind of a hard thing because we didn't want to come off that way. Because, it's a lot of creative people and
Yeah.
a lot of people are independent filmmakers and they identify like as creatives, that's
Yeah.
how they, present themselves versus us. We're like, we have a startup. So it's kind of a similar but different kind of thing. But yeah, I think it's interesting. There are people that are very free flowing, like you said, and then people that are more on the professional side, like
And I wouldn't even say professional. I've met people who are at our level, below our level, just above our level, and they do not want to interact with her because
Yeah.
Mm.
Just want to stay to themselves.
yeah.
yeah, yeah, it's a hard thing. I feel like being insecure. There's only so many people out there doing what you're doing in your area, anyways.
Yeah.
By you guys being connected and actually, like like you said, just you're gonna lift each other up either way.
And you can only grow so much if you're doing every single thing by yourself. You're gonna
Yeah.
need help in the future. Like we've got our team, they've helped us out, and you have your team, and I don't think that any one of you could have just done it by yourselves, or we couldn't have
No.
only done it by ourselves.
No way.
So
No.
It's kind of an interesting thing. There's only so many people. I mean, it is kind of weird. I think about it. There's so many people in Pensacola, but yeah, there's not a major scene for like tech, and I wouldn't imagine videography, photography
Yeah.
on in Pensacola. I mean, Pensacola is a relatively large city, is it?
yeah,
This doesn't feel like it. I don't know.
There's like 80,000 people in school.
Is it really only that many? It just feels like a lot.
I think it's
A lot
I
of
think it's
tourism.
technically in the Pensacola city limits.
Oh, I
if-
see.
But then there's like Pace and like I don't know, Cantomes, Gulf Breeze,
Trees, ain't nothing. There's
yeah, Perdido,
Yeah.
Warrington. That's all technically not Pensacola city limits, but it's all surrounded. But
Yeah.
there are a lot of creatives. You just have to look for them.
Yeah.
And then every time I've reached out, I mean, we've had some people be willing to interact with us, but I've also had a couple bigger people who kind of just shrug me off, and I mean, it's kind of upsetting, but really, what else could you do? Just focus on your work, and then maybe one day they'll come to you and be like,
And then you'll brush them off.
Yeah.
well, I wouldn't say a level of pettiness, but maybe, but
I mean, I feel like people focus so hard on the short term. People are like, oh, okay, for you guys do restaurant stuff, right?
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, this guy's threatening my restaurant gig. These guys are doing really good work. And if they come up to my restaurant, what if they decide to go with them? But it's like, or we could just, actually create an organic relationship, foster that, cultivate that. And then that specific gig does not matter. You guys might present another opportunity for them, and they might
Yeah.
present another opportunity for you. And then before you know it, you have too many things to be doing. It's like
Yeah.
if you have a massive network of people and everybody trusts each other and does good work and respects each other, then that's
Yeah.
great. You could be like, hey man, like, yo, Logan, I need you for this thing.
Mhm.
That's why I'm here. I've been looking for an excuse to go come back home to Pensacola for a long time.
Yeah.
And I'm only here because you guys offered me a few days to where I could justify coming home because it made
Yeah.
a little bit of money, and then I get to see Cameron and do this and see my family and everything.
Yeah.
So it's like that's a perfect example right there.
Yeah. And that's a great feeling to have too. Like, I know that like Logan in particular, you get pretty stressed out with work sometimes. And it's great to be like, hey, Anthony, come help us out on this project. That honestly, you being here allows me to do, I'm doing a job in
oh
desktop.
yeah,
You being here allows me to do something else.
Mhm.
And that's fantastic. And if we didn't connect, and I guess I can't, Logan technically connected with y'all, but still, if you guys
good.
were not here, if we did not connect, if we did not talk, that would not be possible. And we could potentially lose an opportunity.
Exactly.
But we didn't because you're here.
Exactly. And we're not competing like
no,
No, yeah.
I'm hiring maybe one, maybe two drone pilots that might never have worked with us before, but we're hiring them tomorrow to help with this gig.
wow.
Everyone's coming together
That's
to
awesome.
produce this. We're doing a festival, the 2025 Latin Salsa Music Festival, the Pensacola Latin Salsa Music Festival.
Yes.
And it has been a lot. It's been challenging. We're basically helping her plan the festival, promote it. Last year, we just filmed it, took pictures for the day, but this year, we're being 10 times more involved, basically. So we're going to be there all day. We got to cover, I mean, after knowing what it took for us to promote the festival this past year, we know how to cover this year's festival,
Mhm.
make sure 2026 is pretty efficient and
Definitely.
rolling. So
Yeah.
Always improving. And let's say one of the drones crashes. I'm not speaking that it exists. I'm just saying, but that is not even something that you had last year. So it's like that, yeah, we don't want that to happen. But I'm just saying, like, it will improve over time and just
Yeah.
expanding the team. That takes less stress, less pressure off of everybody, and overall just a better experience.
I mean, yeah, tomorrow we're bringing me, Reese Jones, Sky Walters, Anthony Fratto, Elijah Savage, Landon.
Sunset Night Blowers.
Yeah, my brother, and then maybe 2 drone pilots.
Wow.
That's a big team.
It's a fleet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is gonna be a big festival, and we need some sort of everybody throughout the day. So one person can take a break. One person can go get on the laptop, start editing the photos, get it posted, while another person's covering an event.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which is crazy considering what last year we had half that. We had 4. Me, you, Sky, Landon.
Yeah, and Landon was only there for an hour last time.
Yeah. Infinitely easier. Very grateful. It's kind of crazy too, considering like I'm sure it's like probably similar with your guys' idea. Like I want to say 2, but I guess you technically started up Motion Method by yourself, and then going from 1 person to 2 to 3 to 4, and now being here where we can somehow cultivate a team of 8. I don't know. That's
Yeah, I mean-
that's pretty crazy.
And just look what you guys have too. Like,
Yeah.
we got this, we got all the mics, we got like
Yeah.
cameras everywhere, the lights, everything. Like that all came from the group effort.
I took I got an Amazon credit card, and
me
that
this.
had no interest on it. So I bought
Game changer.
the camera, lens, everything. At a certain point, I had $15,000 worth of debt on this credit card. Now, a year, maybe 2 years later, at this point, we only have like $1,500 left to pay off. Like, at a certain, sometimes you have to take the risk. I personally probably would not recommend you doing that, because don't blame me for that. But we knew we had something good going. I was pretty sure that I could keep it up. So we took the risk. I mean, at the end of the day, that's going to fall on you, but sometimes you have to believe in yourself.
Yeah.
Have to take that leap of faith, basically, knowing that, yeah, what's up, danger?
That's what I was thinking when he steps off the building.
Leap of faith. But yeah, sometimes you just have to take that risk to get the reward. And a lot of people do not want to do that.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
so that's kind of what the point of this podcast is. We're talking to local creatives, not even local, just creatives, entrepreneurs.
Once local.
Yeah, just anybody, and getting to hear a little bit of their story and how not necessarily you can copy them, but you can be inspired. You
Yeah.
can want to be a rig designer. You can want to be a Motion Method. You can be whoever you want. It's just try it. You know what I mean? That's probably my biggest thing. Just
Water it. Whatever your idea is.
Mhm.
All right. I think that's a
Yeah.
place to wrap it up. You guys think so?
Yeah.
Think so. It was fun. Thanks for having us on, guys.
Yeah, yeah, of course. It was a pleasure. Thanks for joining us. Stay tuned for the next. What are we calling this?
keeping things, yeah, more motion, more method. Keeping things in motion.
Things in motion. We'll figure out the name next episode.
This episode,
Or-
Reese Jones tells his life story.
Yes, they'll be very interested in my life story.
All right.
It all started when I was a baby.
It started when I was in my dad's